Hey guys, this is Jammer Saint coming at you with an inaugural video. This will be my very first video on my new system. It has been this 5-month long process of getting everything together and getting parts and getting advice and trying to set it up and getting everything going the right way. And the best idea I had for how to start my new channel is I'm going to do a dedication video to a family member of mine that passed away about 3.5 weeks ago. He is probably the most amazing human being I've ever known. And as such, I wanted to share his life with you. Not only is he amazing, in my opinion, he has played a key part in getting my system set up. He bought parts for me. We researched things together, but I'll explain more about him as we go through the video, but he is just an absolutely amazing person. You can see on your desktop that he is sitting in his wheelchair next to the one and only Barack Obama. He had the option when he was just out of high school, or like right around the time when he was getting out of high school, just before, when he had a Make-A-Wish option. And they said, "What do you want to do?" And he goes, "I want to meet Barack Obama, and I want to advocate for people with disabilities to be able to serve more integral roles in the armed forces." He believed that just because you couldn't run through enemy lines and shoot a rifle doesn't mean that you couldn't be of value and massive service to your nation. So that's the kind of guy he was. No matter what he was doing, he was constantly thinking of other people. He was constantly thinking of, what can I do to make this world a better place? And we're going to go into a lot of that here in the video and try to get you guys as much information on this man as possible. So it starts out, he was really young. When he was 10 months old, he went to the doctor. They noticed he was having some difficulties. And then at a year old, he was diagnosed with SMA. It's spinal muscular atrophy. It's a genetic disorder or disease that you're missing a marker on your genetic code that provides a protein rebuild on the end. So basically, neurologically, his nerve endings were losing connectivity over time, and his lifespan was supposed to be very, very short, like a couple years at best. Then he got a little bit of treatment. He's had spinal fusions, but he has been in a wheelchair for the majority of his life. And he was he was so very much wanting to make the world a better place, but at the same time, he really liked to go above and beyond where everybody ever thought he could go. So he passed away when he was 24, and which is well beyond any life expectancy he was originally given. So just even that just shows you how much of a fighter he was. But there's a video that was made by Christy, which was one of his caregivers for multiple years. He's had really amazing caregivers, Christy and Emily, through the years, and not to mention his mother. Shout out to Neva, who is just an amazing person and has put the needs of her family in front of her own for so long. And so I'm going to show you guys this video, and we will get to it, and I'll be back here in just a minute. So this is John in a nutshell. There's so much more to John that you couldn't possibly gather. This guy went through and got his master's in accounting from Stephen F. Austin University last year. He graduated with a master's. Most people barely get a college education where it wasn't good enough. He wanted a master's. And not only that, as soon as he left that, he went to work for Mark Cuban Enterprises, working as an accountant directly for Mark Cuban Services, to where he could be the accountant who vets companies working with the show Shark Tank. So he was absolutely living the dream that he wanted, but it wasn't just enough that he wanted a college degree. He wanted to choose accounting, which is an extremely difficult degree to get. So, but I have some random pictures from John's life over the years that I had personally. So for the last 3 months or so of his life, myself and my wife were his caregivers. Just one of a mini team of family and caregivers. But me personally, I grew a lot closer. This video is really just about John and my relationship and what I knew of John and how much I loved him. But the the stuff that he was constantly battling within his mind was just how to make the world a better place, seeing all of the bad that's in the world. And he would seriously give you the shirt off of his back if he could. I mean, he would give it to you if you needed it. He was just that kind of guy. He got his first check from Mark Cuban and he didn't really want any of it. He said, I'm going to give some to Carl. I'm going to give some to Johanna. I'm going to give some to James. I want to buy stuff for the kids. I want to do this. I want to take all this money, all those resources that I have, and I just want to give it away to everyone just to do something nice for people. And that's who John was. It wasn't enough that he was constantly fighting an uphill battle of health and constantly seeing the same things that we see every day in the world, but he was trying to make so much better of the world. So it's difficult to kind of have any pity when, if you tried to pity John, he would not like you. That's the simple of it. He was very much so I am just as capable as you, if not more. Don't pity me. And he was the biggest crap talker you could ever imagine. He was quick-witted. He was sharp. He would come right at you with a funny insult right after you hit him with one. We used to go back and forth and back and forth. And I remember when we started talking about what he was doing with his accounting, and he found kind of a passion. Then he asked me specifically, he said, what do I do when I'm doing this as a job and it starts to get to be too much? Like, what do I do when I'm just like, this is every day. This is my life. What do I do? And I said, you can't let it be your life. So John wanted to actually start his own YouTube channel, which I was helping him with while he was helping me get prepared for mine. And his YouTube channel, just to show you how much no nonsense he was about his situation, the name of it was going to be Crippled, Not Clueless. And anyone who knows John understands that that is exactly who he was. He was extremely intelligent, but at the same time, everybody that knew him would never look down on him. You would look up to John. You don't ever look down on John. John is somebody that you want to emulate, to be honest. It's somebody that is always going to be there. The guy standing to his right was one of his dear, dear friends, Desmond. And there were three guys that the whole time I've known John, I've been married to his sister about 10 years. And the whole time I've known him, there were three guys that were 100% always in his life. And that was Desmond, that was Mason, and that was Marquis. And those were all three people that he just, Desmond, he met in the neighborhood. John wasn't even going to school yet. And he just met him in the neighborhood. Desmond was riding his bike around the neighborhood and John was riding his wheelchair around the neighborhood, and they saw each other a couple of times and then they kind of hit it off and became friends, and they didn't even meet at school. John had so many friends before he even started going to school. So this is John early. This is what I knew him as when I first met him. This is the kind of stuff that we would go to IHOP and he's getting this food. He's got this massively long straw that he's going. We went on multiple family trips to Galveston, and we've been in each other's lives. And the time when I was probably the most distant from him was when he went off to college in SFA. It's about 3.5 hours away. And I remember helping him move and the stories from his van breaking down while he was out there. And I actually remember my van breaking down when I went out there. But we've had all kinds. This is actually in Galveston at the Rainforest Cafe, and this is John right next to that's Mama Neva right there on the right hand side, and that's my wife, my lovely wife, and that is Faith and Gabe and Sam. Our newest is Liam. He has not been born at this point, but there you can see me in typical fashion being ridiculous. That's pretty much the scale of my life, which means me and John, he tolerated me and we got along in fine fashion. This was actually in our hotel room in Galveston. I was trying to fake him out by telling him that I was going to spray him with powder, and I kind of flung the powder on him, and little did I know it was open. So John is now wearing powder. I have an amazing video as well that we were actually out of the beach. I had my van on the beach, and we were having a great time, and we started feeding Cheez-Its to all the birds there at the ocean, and we were putting them on my head and on Faith's head, and I put one on John's head, and we were just sitting there, wait for it. And there's a video of it that's absolutely amazing, and it just just cheese it right off of his head. And that was just our thing. We started doing it the entire day. But this is John at home in form and fashion. By the way, this guy could grow a beard. You guys saw through the video that he has every step from no beard to the most massive mountain man beard, and he would grow beards but pretty much between this is form and fashion right here. This is just normal John. This was his tattoo, his only tattoo. He had actually got one before, and he used this one to cover it up. This was at our my wife's first baby shower. This is John back in the day. This was a long time ago. This is typical John. This is absolute typical John. I know one thing that I don't know if they want me to share or not, but I'm going to anyway. Dad would randomly walk up and lick his finger and wet Willie John, and there's nothing really John could do about it. But if you got on John's weird side, he would tell you, he's like, you better be quiet or I'm gonna run you over. And he would. There's a couple of really funny stories that can go along with that. We used to ride on the back of his chair. He had the back wheels came out and down, and there's it's on a platform, but we kind of turned it into one. So we would just stand on the back of it while he was driving, and we would just hold on to the handles, and he's just just taking us around wherever. And I always told him I wanted to build a platform on the back of it somewhere where we could actually stand. But I remember going to Galveston, he would be on the beach in his wheelchair, and he would start doing donuts in his wheelchair, and it would make this massive volcano spire kind of right in the middle. That was pretty awesome to see. But we have so many fond memories of being with John, and the most fond memories for me were his last days, the last couple of months that I was able to draw closer to him than ever before. But to try to explain in words just how amazing he was as a person is impossible. You have to experience John to know it. And everyone that came forward with videos and pictures and stories when we had our big video memorial, there's so many people that came forward, people from high school who were, oh my God, what happened? Me and John were so close. And the one thing I can say is if you knew John, you were friends with John. That's pretty much the way it works. John loved everyone. And if you didn't love John, you seriously had some problems mentally. I can tell you that much. But everyone absolutely loved John. John loved everyone. He just wanted to make everybody happy. And I remember the one thing specifically that we had done was I had put blue LEDs underneath his wheelchair to where you could kind of hit a button and it would glow. And it was the coolest thing. But we had started talking about the only place when he was in our JROTC in high school, the only thing he felt lacking was he wanted to be able to shoot a rifle, which was one of the things they would shoot BB rifles, obviously in high school, but he wanted to be able to shoot. So we started talking about how to make some kind of Bluetooth gimbal where he could recline his chair and shoot this rifle with a Bluetooth controller. And knowledge and cost finances, we couldn't make it happen, but that's who John was. He wanted to aspire to these big dreams and then succeed and then go one step above them. And with his life, with his job, with his career, with his degree that he got, he just always wanted to go one step ahead. So I wanted to tell you in this video about one of the most important people ever in my life and one of the best people ever in my life. And I wanted you to see who that was. And I wanted you to see how much he meant to me and how much he has helped me in the past, and even currently right now making this video. I could not make this video right now without the help that he even gave me just in building my system. And I wanted you guys to understand exactly who John was. And I can't get it across to you in this format because you never got to meet him. And I'm sorry for you that you never got to meet him. And I wish you could have. John, I love you, brother. I know you're looking down on me, and I hope this video makes you proud. I hope you guys like the video. There's going to be a lot more coming. I'm going to be doing a lot of Let's Plays, walkthroughs, but this video alone, 100%, this is for John. I hope you guys get to see more. I hope everybody sees my videos coming out soon. Like and subscribe. Hit the notification button if you like, and you'll start to see lots of videos coming your way. You guys have a great day. Thanks for watching.